WATE 6 on your side legal analyst Greg Isaacs is here. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's good to be here, Lori.
A lot to talk about today. Greg, the Supreme Court obviously has a new justice, Amy Coney Barrett, a full bench again after the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're now less than a week away from Election Day, so let's talk about where the High Court and the vote intersect. First, Greg, when has the Supreme Court stepped into presidential elections in the past?
Lori, in 2000, Bush v. Gore, a landmark decision where there were 61,000 votes at issue in Florida because of a malfunction in the paper ballots, and it was called the infamous
Hanging
Chad.
Yes.
And there were three well-known people that were on the Bush legal team, the defense team: Kavanaugh, Roberts, and Amy Coney Barrett. Really ironic that you fast forward a decade and now they are on the Supreme Court and could hear a challenge of the very same nature. Very,
very interesting indeed. Let's talk about this. Is a Supreme Court election decision final? I mean, we're talking the highest court in the land. Where does it go from there?
Well, absolutely. It would depend on what they rule.
Right.
Actually, I mean, this election could have been decided by a vote of 52-48 when Ms. Barrett was confirmed by the Senate. So it's going to be interesting. A good litmus test is the Wisconsin case that went to the Supreme Court. A district judge changed the rules because of the pandemic. The judge said that Wisconsin has been ravaged. It's an important swing state. So I'm going to extend the deadline to allow absentee ballots, mail-in ballots to count as long as they're received by Election Day, but you have 6 days to count the ballots. So until the 9th. So
How can we go through this?
Right, and the Supreme Court ruled that basically you can't. A judge can't step in the place of the legislature. He is denigrating the importance of federal election deadlines. But Amy Kagan wrote a scathing dissent and said, hey, the most fundamental right's the right to vote, and it's a poor choice to say, I need to stay home because of the pandemic, but the mail won't get my ballot in time.
Right.
So
kind of
a really interesting dichotomy.
It is. One other question. What other impact can the court have on how the vote happens?
Well, they can look at every decision, every state rule, whether they're counted on time, whether they're not. And there are lawsuits that have already been drafted, ready to be filed in all of these states that have changed their rules because of the pandemic. And you know, Lori, in looking at this, I didn't realize there were deadlines and deadlines. In Tennessee, if you show up and you don't have a photo ID in Knox County, you get a provisional ballot. Typically 5 to 10% of those have to be recounted, and you have 2 days to go back and show them your ID. So is Election Day, is it over and done with? Not. In looking at a state-by-state basis, there are some states that take up to 14 days to count the votes.
Oh boy, all right.
And I think the Supreme Court is going to kind of wrangle a lot of these different states and legislatures in, but it's going to be interesting. And again, this election could have been decided 52-48.
Out of time. Greg, thank you so much. If you have a question for Greg, just send an email to askisaacs@wate.com and be sure to tune in to 6 on Your Side News at 5:30 every Wednesday to see if he answers any of your legal questions.